Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Sleipnir, Odin's 8-legged horse. In the center of the universe lies a giant ash tree called Yggdrasil. It holds all things, including the 9 worlds. One of those worlds is Asgard, the home of the Aesir, the Old Norse gods. One day, a builder came to Asgard. His clothes were plain, and he seemed unremarkable. He approached the gods and made an offer. He said, "I am the greatest builder of all time. I will make you a wall that none can rival. It will keep out your enemies and protect your great city." The gods were skeptical at first and asked him, "How long will it take you to build this wall?" The builder told them it would take him 3 seasons. The gods scoffed and asked, "What do you want in return for making this wondrous wall?" The builder replied, "I ask for only 3 things: the sun, the moon, and the hand of the goddess Freya in marriage." Freya was outraged. "I will never let you marry me off to a stranger," she said. Her 2 cats, Beigel and Tregel, hissed in fury at the presumption of the builder. "Calm yourself, Freya," Loki, the trickster god, said. "We would never allow you to be married to this man. But perhaps there is a way we can still get our wall." The gods leaned closer, listening to Loki's every word, for he was the cleverest amongst them. "Go on. How do we do this?" Odin asked. Loki told them, "Set him an impossible task that he has no way to fulfill. We will only need to finish a small portion of the wall, and we'll get his labor for free." Freya was uneasy, but the other gods laughed at their cleverness and agreed with Loki. The gods returned to where the builder was awaiting their answer. They said, "We have agreed to your terms, but there is one condition. We will give you the sun and the moon and the hand of the lovely Freya, but you must complete the wall in only 1 season, and you may receive help from no man." The builder agreed readily to this impossible task. He asked only to be allowed his horse. The gods snickered at his naivete, but agreed. The gods left, and the builder began to work. He fetched his mighty stallion, Svadilfari, and set to work. When they checked back on him a few days later, they were amazed at how much of the wall he had completed. His stallion tirelessly hauled huge stones from the quarry, doing the same work as many horses and many men. The goddess Freya saw how quickly the wall was being built and said in a cold voice, "If that builder completes the wall and I am forced to marry him, I demand the head of the one responsible." And she glared at Loki. Loki gulped. "Don't worry," he said. "I have a plan." The next day, the final day of that season, Loki turned himself into a beautiful silver mare and pranced out onto the meadow where the builder's stallion was hard at work. The stallion looked up from the load of rock he was pulling and saw Loki. Slipping out of his harness, he galloped over to the mare. But before he reached her, Loki pranced away, and the stallion followed. The builder noticed Svadilfari hadn't arrived with the next load, and started looking for him. He was just in time to see the 2 horses crest a hill and gallop away. Without his horse to help, the builder's work slowed to a crawl. There was only a small bit of the wall left to do. He bent his back to the labor, but try his hardest, he couldn't complete the work. The builder realized he had been tricked, and in his rage he transformed into a giant. He had been a giant all along and had disguised himself to win the hand of Freya. The gods would never have agreed to the deal if they had known he was their enemy. Thor took up his great hammer and dealt the giant a crashing blow, scattering the builder among the 9 worlds. 11 months later, Loki returned to Asgard. He carried a small gray foal who had 8 legs. The foal could gallop faster, jump higher, and whinny louder than any other horse. Loki gave his son to Odin, the Allfather. Odin named him Sleipnir, and he was called the best of horses. The end.